Hi everyone. By way of introduction, my name is Landon Lee. I am a sociology student at UH Manoa with a strong interest in urban planning and have been interning with the OahuMPO since April. Under Samantha Laura, I've had the opportunity to assist with the community outreach functions of the organization with the purpose of educating Oahu residents about what we do and what our goals are. With that aim, I've developed this series of imaginative streetscape improvements in Honolulu with Mark and Sam's guidance. It's important to note that currently, none of these improvements are in any short or long range plans. These images are just to demonstrate how we can rethink our public streets to be safer, more efficient, more sustainable, and most importantly, better serve our communities. So first we'll start with Waialae Avenue. This view is of the intersection at Waialae and Center Street, with Queen Theatre here on the corner. We know that this area of the neighborhood receives a high volume of pedestrian traffic every day, though the current road design makes crossing the street dangerous, as we can see this uncle is waiting here to cross. The amount of pavement here creates excess heat as well, making this an unpleasant environment. Let's see what we can do instead. This rendering reduces the 4 lanes of traffic to just 2 lanes, with dedicated bike lanes and a tree median, and adding a much-needed refuge island to the crosswalk and shading along the roadway. While removing 2 traffic lanes might create concern about traffic, this is a reconfiguration that is common across the United States, known as a road diet, and can actually improve traffic flow with the potential for dedicated left turn lanes at the median. This would also reduce road noise and add green space, making Waialae Avenue a much more pleasant place for pedestrians and contributing to the food and retail scene in this neighborhood. Next is Dole Street. So this image of Dole Street is on UH Manoa's campus. As a student here, I've always noticed how painfully narrow the sidewalks are, especially given the amount of students that use them every day. The Mauka sidewalks even have utility poles directly in their center. With 4 traffic lanes, this existing design doesn't seem to align with UH Manoa's long-term vision of a pedestrian-oriented campus. So let's reimagine it with pedestrians in mind. This imagines a number of safety and aesthetic upgrades to Dole Street, including green features, landscaping, a raised crosswalk which also serves as a speed bump, widened sidewalks, and bike markings, which altogether signal a strong pedestrian rather than car orientation. There is the potential for dedicated left turn lanes as well at future intersections, creating a safer and more efficient environment for car traffic as well. This next street is Auahi Street in Kaka'ako. So this segment of Auahi Street is in the heart of the Ward Village neighborhood, which aims to be pedestrian friendly. However, this street is dangerously designed, with narrow sidewalks and overly wide roadway that doesn't match the amount of car traffic it receives. These businesses here that have potential for outdoor dining areas also struggle activating their storefronts because of this. So, what if they had more room? This improvement is also a road diet, narrowing the 4-lane roadway to 2 lanes with a center turn lane. This allows for widened sidewalks, more green space, and yes, outdoor dining. The widened sidewalks enables the bus stop to remain close to the roadway while creating more room for pedestrians and businesses, which also leaves room for green features that further separate pedestrians from car traffic and introduce permeable safe surfaces for stormwater. Next is Queen Street, also in Kaka'ako. The city recently completed improvements to Queen Street with a long-term complete streets plan underway. This image shows Queen Street prior to these improvements, and as we can see, it is a hostile road for any mode of transportation, but especially walking and biking. So here's an imagined version with all traffic modes accommodated. These improvements introduce everything Queen Street is missing: dedicated sidewalks, bike lanes, adequate bus shelters, green space, and street lighting. These improvements would significantly contribute to the transit-oriented development goals of the Kaka'ako neighborhood, as this image is just 1 block away from where the Civic Center Skyline station will be. So next is Kalakaua Avenue in Waikiki. Kalakaua Avenue likely receives more pedestrian traffic than any other street on Oahu, and I would imagine pedestrians here often outnumber car occupants, particularly in this segment shown. Unfortunately, however, Kalakaua is identified in the Oahu Vision Zero Action Plan as part of one of Honolulu's most dangerous corridors. It also leaves little separation between cars and cyclists, making it dangerous for bike users as well. So here's what can be done to fix this. Reducing this street to just 1 traffic lane and a wide buffered bike lane makes this a much safer environment for pedestrians trying to cross the street and cyclists using the bike lane. These improvements would also create wider sidewalks, which could mean greater activation of retail spaces along it and sidewalk furniture. This design also enables the roadway to continue to be used for parades. Next, we will be moving to bird's eye view improvements, starting with the Sheridan Street and Kapiolani Boulevard intersection. In this image, Sheridan Street approaches Kapiolani Boulevard at a 45-degree angle, which creates a dangerous and unpleasant environment for pedestrians. The crosswalk here vanishes after the first stretch. So what can be done to fix this? This improvement simply angles Sheridan at 90 degrees angle to Kapiolani Boulevard, which creates a much shorter crosswalk, more pedestrian space with the potential for green space, and encourages drivers to turn to and from this intersection at a much slower speed. This is a simple and uncontroversial improvement that makes walking in this area feel that much safer while maintaining existing functionality for motorists. Next is the Auahi Kamake'e intersection in Ward Village. This intersection is near the Ward Entertainment Center, which experiences a high volume of pedestrian traffic, who with the current configuration must cross slip lanes where motorists often don't stop, and up to 5 lanes of traffic in some places. This design places a strong emphasis on motorists and leaves little space for pedestrians and cyclists. With a redesign, we can introduce a roundabout and dedicated bike lanes to the intersection, while reducing traffic lanes in all directions from 5 in some places to just 2. This creates ample room for pedestrians, opening up huge amounts of space around the intersections that can be used for green features, street furniture, and more. For their final image, we'll be looking at the Auahi and Queen Street intersection. This final image shows the intersection near the IBM building on South Shore Market, which is very similar to the last, where the intersection has been overbuilt for the amount of car traffic it receives, and makes crossing the road dangerous and uncomfortable for pedestrians. Couldn't this also be a roundabout? Well, yes, it can. In this image, we've added dedicated bike lanes, green space, and shorter crosswalks through this intersection, while simplifying the configuration for all users. This once again allows more space to be dedicated back to pedestrians instead of the roadway. So that was the last one. We'd love to hear your thoughts, comments, and any other streets around the island that you imagine could use better design. And in general, we encourage you to think about these kinds of improvements in your community. So I'll close by thanking Mark, Lily, and Sam for being such great guidance to me as I interned here at the OahuMPO. This is sadly my last week here as I prepare for exciting things in the upcoming semester, but it certainly solidified my interest in urban planning as a career pursuit, and I'm really grateful for the opportunities I've been given here and the knowledge that I gained. Mahalo for your time. Bye.